Hi, I'm Barbara from Barbara Bakes. Welcome to my channel. Thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it, and we have a really delicious recipe that I know you're going to like. But before we go any further, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. Don't forget to like what you see. If you like what you see, put your notification bells on so that you're the first person to get what we've got to tell you. And of course, don't forget to subscribe. So, let's bake. The ingredients for our ooey gooey triple chocolate brownie are 200 grams of chocolate chips, which we're going to melt with 200 grams of butter. Then we're going to add 175 grams of lightly packed brown sugar, 3 free-range eggs, and later on we're going to add 180 grams of chocolate chips as well, and they can be anything you like, up to 72%, whatever you prefer. We're going to add those at the end. And then we have plain flour, 75 grams, or you may know it as all-purpose flour, and 30 grams of Dutch processed cocoa, half a teaspoon of sea salt, and half a teaspoon of bicarb, and of course a teaspoon of vanilla. Okay, so firstly I'm going to show you how to prepare your brownie tin. Now I have a sheet of parchment which I cut to fit the tin, 2 pieces, and we're going to fold them over so that they're in a crisp up like that. But before you go there, you need to grease your tin, and you could use a spray for this if you prefer. There's lots of sprays out there now that you can use, and they're really good. Make sure you do all 4 sides of the tin. As you can see that I'm quickly just making sure that the paper has something to stick to. Like I said, crisscross. Make sure it hits the corners on both sides. And the reason why we're doing this is so that when our brownie is ready, we'll be able to lift it out of the tin with the excess paper, so you do need the excess. Into my chocolate chips, I'm going to add my butter, all 200 grams. Now this you're going to want to melt either in a microwave or in a bain-marie as I have here. So if you're going to put that into your microwave, make sure you're using a microwave safe bowl and pop that in your microwave for maybe 1 minute. Take it out, give it a stir or a shake. If you can see that the chocolate started melting, put it in for another minute and keep doing minutes. And every time you do a minute, you take it out and give it a stir. And when you get to your last minute, just pop it and let it rest before you start the next stage. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to add it to our simmering water. This bowl won't touch the top of the water. You need to make sure it just sits on top if you're doing it this way. And this on top of the hot water will melt the chocolate, melt the butter, and then we'll move on to the next stage. As you can see, some of the chocolate started to melt nicely, but we have a few bits that haven't quite made it yet. Just stir it all together. And actually, there are a few lumps of chocolate in there now, but that will melt out on its own in the next few minutes. There we go. I'm going to pull this off now, and then we can start to add all our other ingredients. And before we get to that stage, all these lumps will have gone. So in our mixing bowl at the moment, we have our butter and 200 grams of chocolate chips. I'm now going to add my sugar, 175 grams, and a teaspoon of vanilla. If you have a vanilla pod, half a scraping of the vanilla pod will be enough, or half a teaspoon of powdered vanilla. Stirring that in so it's nice and smooth. You could use a whisk at this stage if you prefer. But we don't really want to create too many air bubbles for our brownie, otherwise when it comes out of the oven it'll collapse and be quite thick and dense. that's the kind of brownie you like, go for it, use a whisk. So that's nice and smooth. Yeah. And now I'm going to add 3 eggs to this mix. Now, when I'm cracking eggs for any recipe, I think it's really important not to crack your eggs over the dish you're making. You don't need to whisk them or anything, you just need to check that they're good and then pour them into your mix. If you crack them into your mix and it turns out bad, you have a bad egg, then you have to start the whole thing again. So it's always really important to have your eggs in a separate bowl. It's quite thick. Once you add your eggs, it's starting to feel heavy, but it's still nice and smooth and smells delicious. Okay? Now to this mix we're going to add all our dry ingredients: flour, cocoa powder, half a teaspoon of bicarb, and salt. So we're going to mix this until it's nice and smooth again. This is a lovely recipe to do with your children if you wanted to bake with them one Saturday morning. There we go. And that's ready for our chocolate chips. Now I have some chocolate that I cut up. This could be a bar of chocolate that you have that you're going to add to the mix. And at this stage you can also add anything else that you'd like to add, such as nuts, coconut, cookie dough, anything like that. And we're not melting these ones because we want to be able to see them at the end of cooking. So we're just stirring in. The tiniest little pieces will disappear in the batter, and then the big ones we'll be able to see after we've got them in. So we're pouring this into our prepared tin that we did earlier. This tin, by the way, is 8 by 8 inches. It looks delicious. There we go, scrape it all into the pan. So let's pop these in the oven for around 24 minutes. We're going to check it at 24 minutes and see whether it's gooey enough or cakey enough for you. This will go in a gas oven, gas mark 4, 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 or 160 for a fan oven, let's say for 24 minutes, and then we'll check and see how we're doing. So the brownie's out. You can see it's a little bit wobbly. I can just see the chocolate chips peering through, and if that were a cake you'd probably say it wasn't done, but that's perfect. So if you want a really, really gooey brownie, put it in for 24 minutes and pull it out. This has been 28 minutes and I like it like this, so we're going to leave it there, cool it down and cut it and see what it's like inside. If you like a more cakey brownie, cook it for 32 minutes, pull it out and let it cool on the cooling tray. So our brownies are out of the oven. They have cooled, and let's see what it looks like. It's sunk in the middle. It's quite hard on the outside and then soft, and I can tell it's going to be gooey on the inside. Now I know some people who really love the corners, so this will be perfect for them. I'm going to cut it and then we can have a look at what it looks like inside. The chocolate chips, how they've melted, the gooiness of it. And these haven't been in the fridge, so when they go in the fridge they'll set up a little bit harder, but they'll still be very, very gooey. So we can decorate with a dusting of cocoa powder just on the top. So with this half of the brownie, I'm I'm going to add a salted caramel. And if you click on the link above, you'll be able to see the video for the salted caramel that you can use for all sorts of desserts that you might make. So all I'm doing is I'm drizzling this along the top. Look at that, pure deliciousness. And as you can see, we've managed to get enough brownies to keep everybody happy. So here are our ooey gooey triple chocolate brownies. If you've liked this video, and I hope you have, and you'd like to see more, don't forget to subscribe. Please share with your friends, and if you put your notification bells on, you'll be the first to know every time we post a video. If you'd like us to make anything in particular that you'd quite like me to make for you, just put a note in the comments box and I'll do that, and I'll see you next time.